Bruce, can you walk us, because you've been there for so long, or were there for so long, through the timeline and under each presidency? Because it really, for people on the outside looking in, they woke up yesterday and the whole military's gay. They don't understand how this happened, how this came to be, what happened, when did this happen?
Well, the whole military is not gay, but it's true that when I came in 1987, they were throwing out gay guys, not even really gay guys and gals, more guys, obviously, but people who there was one guy named Joe Steffen, for example, who was thrown out months before I arrived. He said he hadn't done anything, but he had confessed to a former roommate that he thought maybe kind of, and the roommate ratted him out and he was thrown out. So I can't say that I approve of that. And I'm going to add as a personal note, I hope I don't shock you all, I had a gay brother who died of AIDS in 1992. So he was not interested in the military, but I'm not averse to gay people in the military. It just poses more problems. I mean, women pose problems for that matter, problems that we've never acknowledged. Women were forced on the service academies in 1976. The first class to graduate with women was 1980. So it's changed things, and they didn't prepare for it. The women in the first classes, I gotta say, I've talked to some of these ladies. They were treated absolutely like dirt. But now the pendulum has swung in the opposite direction. Now we're all fuzzy and warm, and we're all about getting along with each other, which is good. But it's all about in the sexual assault tsunami of the Obama administration. That was about using Title IX, which most people associate with sports for girls, to put the burden of proof on the man that he may have engaged in what he thought was a consensual sexual encounter. And the girl decides maybe a week later, maybe 2 weeks later, maybe a month later, she wasn't so much on board with that. And she was encouraged, not only in civilian schools, but especially at the service academies and in the military. This is not just about the service academies, what I'm writing. You're right. You're right to start it off by talking about the military. The girls were encouraged to make an accusation of sexual assault on the guys. I've had students that had one in particular. I got my lawyer. I was fired for writing about these things. I was reinstated by a federal judge, but I was fired, and I got my lawyer by talking to one of my students. He comes up to me and he says, "Hey, sir, I'm not going to be in class as of Monday." I said, "What happened?" He said, "I've been slapped with a restraining order and they're not going to let me graduate." It turned out that it wasn't him coming after the girl. It was the girl coming after him. Thank goodness for my lawyer. I love this guy. So I've had, as a Marine, I'm told that I'm a civilian PhD, but I'm told that because I teach Marines, I also am allowed to say Semper Fi. So I say Semper Fi to you. My students, especially in the Marine Corps, they come back with these crazy stories about, the least little problem, and their career is over. Some of the nicest guys, some girls too, but mostly the Marines are the service with the fewest women, as I'm sure you know. It's about 9%, so it's mostly guys. It's bad stuff. I think, let's get realistic here. Part of the reason why people are not joining up is that the economy is so good. Basically, there's very low unemployment. So there are other options. I mean, we have I hate to put it this way, but we have what's basically a mercenary military. There are very few people who sign up for love. They sign up because it's better than, staying home and doing whatever they were doing or not doing. So there are a lot of motivations for joining the military, but I don't know. It's sad. People see too many SEAL movies. They see too many URA movies. They have 1946 in their head, and they think that's what the military is these days. But it's not. It's not that at all. It's all about, it's divisive rather than unifying. And that's what, it breaks my heart personally, because I love these kids. But it worries me as a taxpayer. As I say, these are completely taxpayer-supported institutions. They're not as important as they once were because they only produce 1 in 5 officers, but they have symbolic value. And the kids, I got a big red chair in my office, and I have talked to hundreds, literally hundreds, of students who sit in that chair, and they come in. I'm a notoriously low grader. I'm an English professor, right? So they can't write worth nothing. So they come in, they got a paper with a D or an F on it, and we talk about the paper. And then they kind of relax. I say, what's really on your mind? And what's really on their mind is their incredible disillusion with the Naval Academy. They came in thinking it was going to be hoo-yah, and they were going to be surrounded by the best and the brightest. And instead, it's what I call military Disneyland. They're putting on a show for the tourists. We put on a great show. I mean, come see our parades. I think you'll love them. But, give me a break. The kids come in thinking that it's going to be Paris Island and Buds, which is the school, the famously hard school for SEALs, and the hard chargers, that is. And they discover that if they say the wrong thing or, look the wrong way or, God forbid, have sex, I mean, it's so crazy. They've got 40% girls out gays, and you're not even allowed to hold hands in these places. I mean, they've got to be fundamentally rejiggered. I have suggestions. What I come up with in my book, which again, I'm proud of it. I wrote it, so read it, if you will. Is that we do with our service academies what the British did with Sandhurst, which is to get out of the undergraduate education business, because the classes are the same as that they'd be taking at Ohio State or University of Maryland up the street from us. So there's no reason for that. And they don't come out more motivated for the military than when they came in. So I think we can use the it's sad. I mean, it's the biggest letdown. You walk on the campus and you're all hard charging. The kids look great. They're running to class. They're not lying naked on the grass. They have a place for that. They go to the roof of their common dormitory, which is called Bancroft Hall. They call it the Red Beach. It's a red roof. And there they can take their clothes off and get a little sun. But you're not doing it on the grass. So the tourists love it. Tourists love it.
Bruce, thank you, sir. Purchase his book and find out what's happening in your country and your service academies. It is a very big deal. Bruce, I appreciate you very much. Thank you very much.